So I was reading the book Terrible Typhoid Mary, and right now, after Mary has refused George Chopper for I think twice already, uh, he goes to the main medical board of health, the New York City Board of Health, and to make sure that Mary does not constantly spread the typhoid fever. He talks to them and tries to explain why Mary is like is a menace to society. So first he brings up the fact that he thinks that she has typhoid. She's a carrier for the typhoid fever, but she refuses to give any samples or specimens to him, and says that she doesn't want to comprehend, and that brute force should be taken. So they bring out one of their the boss still wants to do it peacefully, so he brings out one of his doctors to collect the specimen, who's a woman, because obviously he thought that maybe he doesn't want to do it with men. She doesn't want to give her specimen to men or something like that, so he asks a woman doctor. So the woman doctor goes there. She's not told that Mary has anger issues or how she's really hard to deal with. She's just told that she's there to collect specimens. She goes in there, she walks in the kitchen, and she straight up just asks Mary, I'm here to collect your specimens, and Mary just turns to her and says no. She says this in a way that there isn't room for argument or persuasion. So she just leaves, she calls her boss, she says I was not able to do it. And so the boss told her, meet her the next morning with 3 police officers and an ambulance. So the ambulance is there, she walks and she has one of the police officers go at the intersection of that street, another one in front of the house, and one officer to escort with her through the servant entrance. Now she walks through there, and as soon as she opens the door, Mary is already holding a carving knife, which she's famous for because obviously Sopper also got threatened with a carving knife. And so she lunges it at the doctor. The doctor falls down, right? And then Mary goes out the door and she vanishes. Now this is in the snow. So they try to find tracks. They don't find it right away. They look everywhere and they couldn't find her. Soon they found the tracks that were leading to a fence where she used a chair and she went over. And then after 2 hours of searching, they couldn't find her. But then they find her in the ashtray. They find like a little bit of blue, like the same blue she was wearing in her dress, and they noticed that the servants were helping her hide from them. And so she thought, man, this is really getting nice loyalty, although she's really distressed. And eventually they dig through, they find her inside, and they pull her out. And as one last attempt to do it peacefully, the doctor asks again, but then Mary still says no. So eventually they take her by force. And by this time, after all the searching, she gathered like 3 other police officers, so she has like 6. And it takes 4 of them to lift her into the ambulance with force, because she keeps like cussing and she's like moving around and trying not to get taken, right? And eventually they bring her to the hospital and they bring her into her one room as if she's like a prisoner. And it's completely white, everything's white, the bed is white, there's no windows, the ceiling, the floor, the walls are white, there's a small closet for a white bathroom with a toilet, and which she has no just he has to use that one. She also has a white bathrobe, and she doesn't have any clothes because they confiscate from her, so she's there with just the white bathrobe. And so eventually she has to go, and so some of her specimens are in the toilet now, and then they take her out and they use them. And then she also got her blood taken out. They don't really explain, but they say that it was without her consent. They bring him to the laboratory. The laboratory comes back, and indeed she is a carrier for the typhoid fever. So Soper was right. And then Soper comes up to her inside the room, and he asks Mary, he asks her, he explains everything, and he also talks about why they had to do all of this. And by then, he assumes that she would understand him, but she still has his anger against him. And, well, by this time, Soper realizes it's too late. If she's not going to do anything, she's not going to agree, then she's never going to agree. Although he did figure out that if they took out the gallbladder, because 97% of the time, either the typhoid fever, when you get the typhoid fever, either the typhoid germs win or the immune system wins. Another 3%, roughly 3%, the typhoid sort of goes away, sort of. It's still in the body, but it sort of goes away. And so for months, the person is just carrying it, but eventually it still goes away, like the germs goes away. And they're already fine, so there's no clear symptoms. And then like less than 1%, which is Mary's case, they're sort of a draw. The germs colonize the gallbladder as the immune system lets it, sort of. And for the rest of their life, they have the germs, right? And so there's an operation. You just take out the gallbladder, and you won't be walking. You won't be walking with the. You won't be a walking carrier. So, and the body can live without the gallbladder, as you know. It'll just adjust without it. And they were saying, yeah, we can do the surgery, but then Mary she fears this because back in Ireland, where she lives, there are two famous murderers who would kill people and then sell the bodies to hospitals. And so she was thinking, I think I will get murdered here, or something like that. So of course she doesn't want to do the surgery, and that's where the story ends so far. So, yeah.
So you like it so far?
Yeah. It's interesting.
So what is your